vineyard is Semeli, which was established in 1979. Well, there are several different things that they add to wines. They add egg white.
Why have you not heated up your pan? I would be heating my pan now while you're seasoning that.
What I did mention earlier, if you can see here, the fat on the outside, I put a couple of scores in.
As the chop's being turned, we've just added some coriander. So the potatoes are just left in the pan and you do not turn them because they would just crumble up.
Some fresh coriander and just a little pat. Finish them off.
Just dressing our salad.
Right. Shall we? Right.
Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Andri and welcome to our kitchen. So we are here again for another wine review, which Rico will be doing, and he'll also be cooking up another delicious recipe for us. So over to you, Rico.
Hello again and welcome back, may I say. Today's wine is another Greek wine. This one is MOSCHOFILERO. It's a white wine from the Mantinia region of Greece, which is part of the Peloponnesos Peninsula again, like the wine that we had last week, which was red, but this one's white. It's a very famous Greek variety, predominantly grown in this region, but also grown in some of the Ionian islands like Corfu and Kefalonia, which is on the west coast of Greece. The vineyard is Semeli, which was established in 1979, you can see that there, and the present vineyard was opened in 2003. There's a rather interesting line in this bottle. It says, rooted in Greece. The vineyards for this wine are high altitude vineyards.
Wait a minute, why does it say rooted in Greece? What does that mean?
I don't know, but obviously the roots of the wine, where it comes from, is in Greece. It's rooted in Greece. Everything about it is from Greece. So
it's not being, what does that mean? It's not being brought from another country and...
Well, the vines haven't come from another country.
Because sometimes they do.
They haven't, what they haven't done, they haven't grafted any white vines to make this wine. A lot of French vines now are grafted.
What does that mean?
Well, in France they had the problem of the wine disease in the 1800s. When America was first discovered, they brought vines back from America, but they came with a disease. The American vines could handle this, but the French vines couldn't, and it almost extinguished all the French crops. So now what the French do, they graft between different vines from different countries and the French vines in order to combat this disease. That's how they get round it. So MOSCHOFILERO is got a flavour of roses and fruit. That's what it's famous for. I've had this wine before. I've had this wine when we've been in Cyprus on holiday, and I quite enjoyed it in the past, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this one, but I think this one might be a little bit more special.
I just want to say here, you said that you had this in Cyprus, yes, and you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Do you not find that with certain wines do suit certain climates, i.e. certain countries? Like, you may have a wine in Cyprus and then you taste it over here and it doesn't taste quite right. Do you not find that?
I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from there, in respect of certain wines maybe do not travel well. But I think wines of quality always travel well, and you won't have that problem with them.
I remember, okay, I'll give you an example. I remember I was in Cyprus and it was probably about October, November, but it was more November time because I was over for my dad's memorial. And I opened up a bottle of Othello, which is a red Cypriot wine, and which I wouldn't normally drink, but I had the notion it was a wee bit colder, but it's still sunny, and I had the notion for this red wine. So my mum had Othello in the house. I opened up and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then do you remember I came back and I said to Rico, I really enjoyed Othello, and you said to me, you're not going to enjoy it over here. And you brought me a bottle of Othello, we opened it up, and it just wasn't right. It wasn't the same.
Well, I think, with no disrespect to Othello, I think this goes back to winemakers and the old wines of Greece and Cyprus and the new wines of Greece and Cyprus. Othello is made by the House of Keo, which is a huge brewery, a huge winery. They make brandy, they make beer,
they make Keo
beer, and Zivania and whatever else. Okay.
Right. We'll leave that one there then. So,
yes.
Because we're talking about a different wine. And
just to go back to this wine being of high altitude vineyards, in that region, this gives this wine lower sugar, lower alcohol, but high acidity, which makes it an exciting wine, I think.
So what's the alcohol in this?
It's 12.5, which is quite
That's not
high.
low.
It's not low, but it is lower than other wines. I've looked at a lot of MOSCHOFILEROs. Like the one we were drinking in Cyprus at that time was only 11%. So this is quite high for a MOSCHOFILERO. So have they kept that acidity and with this high alcohol?
Right, I'm going to ask you another question. Now, during Easter, when I fast, we ordered a wine. We were out with Luke, our son, and I was going to order wine, and Luke said to me, Mario then said to me, you need to be careful because not all wines are vegan. And I was quite surprised at that. So, are all wines vegan?
No.
What makes a wine, I mean, it comes from a grape. So what are they adding to the wine that's making it non-vegan or even vegetarian?
Well, there are several different things that they add to wines. They add egg white, they add fish proteins, and they also add milk proteins. They all help stabilise the wine.
Right, okay. So, when I look at that bottle of wine, is there anything on that bottle of wine to indicate that it's...
vegan? No.
No. So we will then assume...
it's not vegan.
It's not vegan?
No, it's not vegan. There must be something in it, but it's not listed here.
So it would, the wine would say...
vegan.
Vegan,
Yes,
vegetarian.
When you go to the wine shops and you go along the wines, there are wines that say suitable for vegans. You don't go and shop wines, I go and shop them. And there are wines that say suitable for vegans. Organic, other wines are organic, other wines are suitable for vegans, and so on.
So there we go. There we go, there's a surprising fact there that wines are not... I was really taken aback when my son had pointed that out to me. So yeah, no drinking wine when we're fasting.
Didn't finish on the wine. This particular one's got a screw cap, as we can see here. And it's a 2018. I think it will still be good in 3 or 4 years. I think this is a wine that you could put down. You could put down for a few years and drink before 2022, 2023.
Okay, now to the cooking part of the video. So what are we cooking today, Rico?
We're going to have these nice pork chops. We're going to cook them in the griddle pan with some crushed coriander, lemon, and red wine. And we're going to have sauteed potatoes. I've parboiled these potatoes, then we're going to cook them in the
so you've parboiled them, you've sliced them,
and I'm going to cook them in butter with some parsley, and I'm going to use one of these lovely salts that
Lux and Roses sent.
And we're going to use the one that's got white salt.
So are these salts all flavoured?
Not all of them, this one's just salt.
That's salt.
Yep.
And that, the one we're using...
And they've got numbers on them. Number 3 is pure sea salt smoked over oak. Number 5 is pure sea salt with celery seeds.
Right, okay, we'll just concentrate on the one that we're using today, which is...
pure sea salt with roasted garlic.
So that's what we're using today.
That's what we're using on the potatoes.
Okay. So the other thing is, you'll see that this griddle is greased. And I said to Rico, did you put grease in it? He says, no, I always grease my cast iron pans to stop them from rusting. So
Correct.
Once they're washed, you always grease them then put them away. So you just kind of put a tissue paper over it just to stop anything else becoming greasy.
Correct.
But you always grease a cast iron pan to stop it from rusting.
That's right.
And here, this is freshly baked bread by moi, that's me.
So we're going to just grease the pork chops with some olive oil, okay, and then we'll season this side, some salt.
And we use the pink sea salt, Himalayan salt.
Some pepper. The idea of cooking pork with coriander and lemon and red wine is a traditional Cypriot recipe, but it's normally done with pieces of pork, and it's like a casserole or a stew of pork cooked with red wine and coriander and lemon.
Which is called Afelia.
Which is called Afelia, yes, that's right. But we're going to do a variation of it just for in the pan.
So it's the same sort of flavour.
Same sort of flavours, but it's not a casserole. Okay. We've seasoned the chops on that side. This is some crushed coriander which I crushed earlier. We'll put some on the chops. Just
a bit in.
A bit, and we'll turn them over. I'm just going to wash my hands before I...
So you've washed your hands, but why have you not heated up your pan? I would be heating my pan now while you're seasoning that.
I've had the chops out the fridge now for an hour, but once I've seasoned them, I'm going to let them rest for another 5 or 10 minutes just with the seasoning.
Right.
Okay, and then start cooking.
So you're just seasoning them again the same way as you did?
Same way as I did before.
So the pan is now heating, so that gives the chops to take in the flavours of the coriander, salt and pepper. Rico's also turned on the iron. Rico's also turned on the oven to heat the oven because the pan is only big enough for 2 chops at a time, so he'll cook the 2 and then put them in the oven to rest while he's cooking the other 2.
I haven't added anything to this pan at all. It's just the grease that I'd greased it with after I'd washed it. So it's now ready to cook with.
So the pan is now smoking. Rico's going to put the chops in. So he hasn't added any extra oil. It's just the oil that was in the pan when he had greased the pan. So that's the chops. So you're basically just sealing the chops now.
Yep, correct. What I didn't mention earlier, if you can see here, the fat on the outside, I put a couple of scores in it. Just as we go round, see the chops, I've scored the fat.
And
sometimes that stops. Sometimes we put the meat in the pan with the fat and it starts to cook, it starts to curl, and that stops that happening. I'm going to take these 2 chops off and put these 2 chops on now. Okay?
So you're just going to put them
in this tray into the oven.
Yes. And that will kind of cook them off, rest them, and
then I'm going to add them back in the pan and finish
all
them all
together.
Yes.
That's the other 2 going in now. So that's the pan on now for the sauté potatoes. So just melting the butter in the pan. Whilst the other 2 chops are cooking. Had to put the fan on, which we try not to do when we're doing the videos because it makes so much noise, but it was getting kind of smoky in here. Okay, so that's the chops now ready for the other 2 to be added in the oven. So you haven't put them in the oven?
No, not yet.
That's all the juices from the chops. So you've just added some coriander.
Just a little more crushed coriander, yep. Okay.
Red wine. This red wine is Malbec. We're just adding some lemon now. That's our fire alarm gone off again. Adding the rest of the juice that came from the pork chop. So Rico's now turned the heat off, covered them with foil, and you're just leaving them there just to rest. So it's going to take them off the heat now. We're just going to add the sliced potatoes now to the hot butter.
So we're going to use this salt with roasted garlic to season them.
So it's sea salt and roasted garlic.
The garlic is quite strong.
Let me smell. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I've never seen flavoured salts before, have you?
Yes.
Have you? I need to start buying them. So if the salt wasn't flavoured with garlic, would you add garlic to it?
Yeah, I thought not normally, no.
So the potatoes are just left in the pan and you do not turn them because they would just crumble up, wouldn't they, just now? So you're just waiting for them to crisp up on the one side,
Yes,
and then just
fresh coriander and just a little parsley. We're just going to...
So that's a mixture of fresh coriander and parsley,
Yep,
just
just
going over the chops now.
Leave them in there. Okay.
Just starting to turn the potatoes now. Just adding some pepper.
A wee splash of Worcestershire sauce. Finish them off. And some parsley. Freshly chopped flat leaf parsley. Okay.
Just dressing our salad, so we've added salt, pepper, some oregano, and oregano, we bring this back from Cyprus, it tastes different, doesn't it, from the one that we get over here?
Definitely.
Some olive oil and some red wine vinegar, and that's our dressing for the salad.
I'll have two since I'm greedy, okay?
Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Oh. It's hot.
Right. Shall we dine?
Here we are. We've plated our salad, potatoes, ready for the wine.
Bad start. It didn't come off, it came off as a whole. I'll pour to you first, that one.
It's very light in colour anyway, first impression, doesn't it?
Well, it's there. Golden, I would say.
No, wouldn't say golden.
Would you say light?
It's very light.
It's got such... When you say the word, as a Greek, when you say the word MOSCHOFILERO, you think of roses, don't you? Petals and...
So the Greek word for roses is triandafilo.
It's true. It's very floral in when you to the nose. That zingy, fruity taste, and it has got that acidic finish. It's what I expected from the wine, and it is excellent, I have to admit. It's a lovely wine, and you're going to love this wine.
Right, let me taste it.
Carry on.
You're right. This is lovely now. You said you got floral from it. It's like a muscady type of wine.
Not muscady.
What?
Muscat. That's what you're thinking of. You're thinking of a dessert wine there, but it's got that fruit flavour and on the nose. I think that's what you're getting. When you taste it, so much
just can't
fruit.
help yourself but correct me, can you?
That's just my opinion. When I tasted the wine, it was outstanding.
It's really lovely.
Can I say, the MOSCHOFILEROs I've had in Cyprus, with no disrespect to the winemaker, I'm not going to mention the winemaker, but it's a rather large Greek winemaker before, and I've enjoyed them very much, so I can't complain about the wine, but this is a cut above that. Definitely a cut above that.
And it doesn't, I always say to you when I have separate wines, especially separate wines, I can taste that I can immediately pick up that it's a separate wine. I don't know what it is, but I can pick up. It's obviously got to do with the way that the sun hits the grapes and all of that, right?
You've always said that about Californian wines.
And I can pick up
they have that datey flavour there. The whites.
Yeah, quite datey. But this, I would really be pushed to place this from which country it comes from. I really would.
Well, when you read
about... So if you gave me this to taste, I couldn't say to you this was a Greek wine. When
you read about wines and blind tastings, that the masters of wine have these blind tastings, I think this wine would come up very highly. Especially you don't know where it's from, you're tasting it. I think this is a top wine. This is really, really good. Yeah. Excellent.
Delicious. Cheers. Lovely.